election. Okay? Here.
We turn now to Saturday night's Republican
war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what.
Trump lost the popular vote? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I didn't realize that the popular vote is how you won elections. That's so crazy. Wow. You mean to tell me that there are more registered Democrats in this country in totality than there are registered Republicans? What's next? Are you going to tell me that land doesn't fucking vote? Yeah, I know all of those things. That's just not how elections are won and lost, okay? The Electoral College, unfortunately, still currently exists. All right? At this stage, a Republican losing the popular vote but still winning the elections is a guarantee. Okay? The last time that shit happened, it happened once in the last like 40 fucking years, by the way. Okay? And that was post 9/11. That's it. George W. Bush second time. That's it. That's the last time in the fucking past 30, 40, 36 years now. The last time a fucking Republican won the popular vote and won the presidency was a one-off post 9/11.
What to say, and he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
I'm sick and tired of Barack Obama blaming my brother for all of the problems that he's.
Yeah, he ripped his asshole, and he ripped Hillary Clinton as well. Okay? He ripped into Hillary Clinton and said Hillary Clinton was pro war in Iraq. He was not. Since George H.W. Bush in 1989, it's only been 2004. Yes, post 9/11 was the only time that a Republican won the popular fucking vote and then won the presidency. They've won the presidency a bunch of times, just never won the popular vote because you don't have to. It's a patently undemocratic process. Anyway, my point is the Democratic Party, for some weird fucking reason, this was in 2016 when he positioned himself as an independent moderate. I'm not convinced any of this will work in 2024. Really? That's interesting that you say that because I can't speak for the polling on Ukraine, but I can speak coherently on the consistent polling on Israel, where Donald Trump is outperforming Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Joe Biden by double digits, and now Kamala Harris almost by double digits. One must ask the question, how? One must ask the question, why? A dumbass looks at that and doesn't look at any other polls and says, oh, that's because Americans want more war. They see Donald Trump as a warmonger. Okay? If you look at the other polls, Americans are consistently demanding a ceasefire, even opening their minds to the idea of denying weapons transfers to Israel. Okay, these are like unconscionable positions that I never would have thought the American public would be broadly in support of by majorities, like 5 years ago even. Okay, so Maybe it's because Donald Trump keeps positioning himself as a motherfucking peaceful dove. People believe it. They're stupid. There's nothing you can do about it. That's why you have to campaign. That's why you have to message. That's why you have to have messaging discipline. And if the messaging that you're putting out there is you want a lethal military, you want hard dicks, you want the most militaries that you've ever, you want the sexiest, hardest fucking military with the best weapons. We love war. Then people are going to be like, oh shit, she wants war. That's crazy. Donald Trump, on the other hand, regularly is like, well, I'm a peaceful dove. No new wars under my 4 years. No new wars under my 4 years. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are responsible for 2 new wars. It's crazy. It's stupid. It's idiotic. One must ask the question how Donald Trump is going to end the war in Ukraine, or how he's going to end the Israeli genocide of Palestinians. But of course, in order to do that, you would have to at least have signaled to the world, to the American broader electorate, that you are the anti-war candidacy. Kamala Harris has not done that. This will be a big issue. Okay? This will be a big issue. Partially because Trump is also really stupid and objectively running a bad campaign. Objectively running a bad campaign. Americans have broadly made up their minds on Trump. I will keep repeating this point over and over and over again. Okay? But these are just gimmies for Trump. You're just basically allowing him to present himself as an outsider, number one, and also a peaceful dove as opposed to you, that he calls you a fucking warmonger. Okay? And honestly, saying shit like, oh yeah, the Dick Cheney endorsement is great when he is either not exactly fondly remembered or people don't even think about it at all. You know, overestimating logic again because they don't know if they want to be anti-war or not. Overestimating logic again. No, if we're looking at like a vibes-based analysis, okay, Americans broadly consider themselves to be like peaceful. Okay, America has to be the world police, but also simultaneously, like, there are instances where we go above and beyond. People literally do not favor the war in Iraq. They just look at it as like, that's not a good thing that we did. That was a really bad thing that we did. Okay? Even if you're not going to be peaceful, messaging as though you are is objectively a successful way to run a campaign.
Be sure about who they're voting for in this election. Dick Cheney has just made the choice very clear. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Dick Cheney, the architect of everything that has gone wrong in the Middle East for the last few decades. Be sure about who they're voting for in this election. Dick Cheney has just made the choice very clear.
The whole point is to show fractures in the Republican Party because people vote along party lines. So the hope is that it gets half-assed Republicans to reconsider. Yeah, dude, no. Okay? No. No. You're wrong. Okay? You're objectively wrong because you're not talking about a person who is like a beloved figure in the Republican Party. Even John McCain at the time, despite my disagreements with him, despite my hatred for him, would have moved the needle in a more significant direction, especially in a place like Arizona. Dick Cheney does not. Okay? Dick Cheney does not move the needle in a positive direction. No actual Republican is going to go, oh my God, Dick Cheney, former vice president of the United States of America, Dick Cheney, is endorsing Kamala Harris. I'm going to do it now. I'm doing the dang thing. I'm also voting for whoever is going with Dick. Why do you think Kamala said accepted the endorsement if it hurts her outright? I mean, chatters are already repeating the fucking assumptions that they think the Democratic Party is making and presenting it as though it's a good idea. If you want to understand what the reasoning behind it is, listen to the chatters who get paid $0 from the DNC to operate like fucking DNC wonks in here, as though they are being paid by the Democratic Party. They are defending the decision because they reflexively defend every decision from the Democratic Party because they think they must know more than us. They must know more than this random fucking dickhead Twitch streamer. And I totally understand why you would think that. Okay? I get it. I get it. Like, who the fuck am I? Like, what do I know? You know what I mean? I just simply do analysis. I look at polls. I do analysis. I covered the news. I'm just some random idiot, right? The difference is I'm also showing you, like, as close to evidence as you can possibly get on shit like this whenever I make an argument, okay, in terms of, like, polls. Yeah, no Republican voter is loyal to Cheney. He's widely despised everywhere. This endorsement is a signal among the ruling class, the establishment, the Acela Corridor, Washington, D.C. elite. This is about solidarity of the establishment versus an outsider who humiliated them. Or at least that's what Trump can say. Except here's what Trump is saying instead.
To indoctrinate America's youth with all sorts of things that you don't want to have our youth hearing. Ultimately, we'll live, and you know what we're doing here.
Nah, they do know more. They're just hedging their bets. And at least in my case, I'm trying to consider all possibilities for the sake of conversation. No, they don't know more. Like, their instincts are bad. If they did know more, 2016 Hillary Clinton would have won, okay? Like, that's the problem. And then people get shocked when they fucking lose, okay? That is the issue here. They don't know more, okay? They don't have good instincts. They only win because Republicans are unimaginably unpopular. Democrats never actually play to win. They just play defense a little bit and they wait out their time. They wait out until the Republicans completely fucking upend the American economy, cause global instability. And 8 years after, they're like, all right, it's our time now. And then they do this for 8 years. They run with progressive policies sometimes, and other times they even moderate their positions, and then they fucking turn around and never actually end up unrolling the